Oh, okay, got it. All right, well, thank you everyone for coming to our class tonight called Indoor Picnic Cooking Class. Now, we may be in lockdown, but it doesn't mean we can't have a bit of fun. And picnics are always so much fun. So look, one of these evenings, just skip the table, put a blanket or a rug on the floor, get out some napkins, and because everything is usually more delicious when it's at a picnic, right? So just, yeah, make it fun. Let's make this locked out fun. Have some fun with your kids. They would absolutely love to do that with you. So we're going to show you some very easy recipes, because when it's indoor, when it's any kind of picnic, whatever you're preparing, you want it to be quick and easy. So and easy to eat as well, and to carry when you go off on a picnic. So I mean, hopefully restrictions will be easing very soon. You'll actually be able to go out on a picnic, especially with the weather getting warmer as well as the days go by. So I'm going to start off with a pulled pork with brioche sliders and coleslaw. Sounds complicated, but it's really easy, this one. And it's like a cheats pulled pork. So I'll talk about that shortly. And then we have Ashley, who's going to show us some strawberry lemonade cupcakes. So Blade Runners, ladies, I have changed the order of this because we had a few changes this afternoon. So Ashley, you're up second. And then Val's going to show us how to do hot dog rolls. Cover can. Okay, hot dog rolls, and then Sue's going to show us how to make some zucchini, ham, and corn bites. Elia, some vegetarian sausage rolls. Now, you haven't tried these. If you haven't tried these yet, you're going to want to try them after today. And Paula, some barbecue chicken winglets, which again are also super easy and just absolutely super delicious. So we're going to get started, and so I'm going to start with the pulled pork. Okay, so let me just grab my ingredients. Okay, so I'm going to bring my laptop close to my Thermomix screen so you can see it there. All right, so I'm on two screens now. So I'm going to go to my week, and the recipe is called pulled pork brioche sliders with slaw, and we just tap on that. And now there's 3 steps to this recipe. So you've got the brioche dough, you've got the red cabbage coleslaw, and then the brioche buns. Okay. So I'm going to start off. Oops, hang on. Recipe detail. I'm going to start off with the pulled pork, because it does take 30 minutes. So we're going to start with that. So now the pork that I'm using, I've got it here diced. It says 2 centimeter cubes, but it's pork tenderloin. So it's this one there that you'd want to use for this recipe, because it's nice and obviously tender. So that would be the perfect cut for this particular dish. So we're going to put in two garlic cloves and some 100 grams of onions. If it's over, it doesn't matter. And we're going to chop it up for 5 seconds on speed 5. So now, traditionally pulled pork recipes, they take hours in the slow cooker, don't they? Yeah. So this is like a cheats version. It really is done in half an hour. So how good is that? So so we chop that up, the onion and the garlic, and now we're going to add. So just tear the scales. 600 grams of pork. I'll probably have a bit more, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you go over with these things. You can even add more, because there's plenty of room in the bowl. If you wanted to add over 1 kilo even, it would absolutely work. Now 500 grams of water. Now it may seem a bit strange, and I am using boiling water because I want this to hurry up. So it won't take the full half hour. So 500 grams. So if you were doubling the meat, then just make sure that you put enough water that covers the meat. And then you'd probably want to do double the spices, for instance, as well, which you would, so you wouldn't lose the flavor. So the spices are 1 tablespoon of smoked paprika, a tablespoon of brown sugar, tablespoon of garlic powder, and a teaspoon of some salt. And we're just going to pour that in with, and just give it a mix. And this is all it is. And then it's going to cook for 30 minutes on 80 degrees. So it's like a slow cook on speed, soft spoon on reverse. So I'm actually going to pop that in the background. So 30 minutes, and I'll get it going. So 30 minutes, and okay, on reverse. All right, so that's done. So now I'm going to do the brioche buns. Now, this particular recipe, inside this recipe for brioche buns, it says that you got to rest the dough for around 4 hours in the fridge. Now, that's a really long time. So if you want to be faster, there is another recipe that I really like to use for brioche burger buns, and it's just called brioche burger buns. Okay, so that one there. And it's such a great recipe. And once they're cooked, this is what they look like. Okay, so they are just really nice, soft, fluffy, and just really, really easy to make. So I'll show you how to make these. So we're going to add 20 grams of sugar. Okay, so sugar is great for activating the yeast. It also gives it a bit of sweetness as well, not a lot. So let me get the yeast. I should have been getting my ingredients instead of dancing. All right, so 2 teaspoons of yeast in there, and 80 grams of milk. All right. Now this is such a good recipe, and it makes a lot. It makes around 12 buns, and now we're going to add 150 grams of water. All right. Now we want this to heat up for 3 minutes on 37 degrees on speed 1. So whilst that's happening, I'm going to talk to you a bit about something else. Okay, so for the coleslaw, we need mayonnaise. So I actually made this mayonnaise yesterday. It makes quite a lot. We had this for dinner last night, and I used a little bit of the mayonnaise, and I still have all of this left. So this mayonnaise is going to go in our homemade coleslaw. Now, I've tried a few coleslaws over the years. This particular one, which is within this recipe, is so delicious. You guys have to try it. Even if you're just having a coleslaw as a side dish for a barbecue, go into this particular recipe just to make the coleslaw. It's pretty amazing, and it's packed with flavor. So we'll do that one very shortly, right after we do this. Okay, so it's up to 37 degrees. So we'll just continue on with the recipe. So we're going to add 450 grams of baker's flour. Okay, let's pop that in. A little bit more, 450 grams. And then we want some salt. So 1.5 teaspoons of salt, and some salted butter. So 80 grams of butter. Oh, here we go. And 1 egg. Pretty sure that's the next step, yeah. Now, this particular recipe, it needs for 10 minutes. So it needs for quite a long time. It is quite a sticky dough. when you take it out of the bowl. So don't be alarmed if it's sticky and it's stuck, you know, and it's quite stuck to the bottom of the bowl and to the sides. When you take it out of the bowl, I'll show you what to do. We can whiz it on speed 10 just to release all the extra dough in the bowl. But once it rises, and this dough actually rises quite fast, once it rises, it's not sticky, and you can easily shape it into bread rolls, which I'll show you how to do that, okay? So whilst these two are happening, I'll come back when it's time for the coleslaw. But for now, we will go to Ashley, who's going to show us those strawberry lemonade cupcakes.
Awesome. Hi, everybody. These are really easy. I actually made them this afternoon because I'd never made them before. And it's literally throw everything in. So it is in imperial rather than metric, but the thermo will just change everything for you. So it's saying to preheat the oven to 350. I've already done that. And we're just throwing everything in. So it wants 7 ounces of granulated sugar. And 7 ounces of strawberries. I've already cut mine up. Strawberries are on special at Woolies today, and they're really big, really red, juicy strawberries. I had to buy extra because the 3-year-old ate a whole punnet. 2 large eggs. Two ounces of canola oil. I didn't have any canola oil. I had vegetable or olive, so I'm going for the vegetable oil because it's not as strong a flavour. A teaspoon of freshly squeezed lemon juice. I've already squeezed that too. And a pinch of nutmeg. Seven ounces of all-purpose flour. And 2 1/4 teaspoons of baking powder. Half a teaspoon of salt. And that's it. Cover that up. Putting speed 4 for 20 seconds. Now it says to transfer the batter straight into a muffin pan, but I know this afternoon that it sticks to the sides a little bit. So I'm just going to get it off the sides and put it around again. That's your butter, beautiful pink butter from all those strawberries. So we're just filling a muffin tray, and one of my children has stolen a patty pan out of my muffin tray.
Am I allowed to play Guess Who?
It'd be Owen, yeah.
I was going to say Owen.
He stole a cooked one earlier this afternoon before it had even cooled down. They were boiling hot. So I'm guessing he stole one of these hoping that it already had cake in it, and it didn't. So it says to fill them 3/4 full. I'm just using an old-fashioned ice cream scoop. I love these. But the mix shop also has a cake batter pen, which is also very handy. I'm just going to grab one more pen. And they go into the oven for approximately 20 minutes.
Ashley, do you have ones that you made earlier that you can show what they look like?
I do, but they're not iced yet.
Oh, okay. So we'll
so
come back to you for the icing.
Yeah, sure, no worries.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
All right, we'll do it that way. So I'll pop that there for you. So we'll head over to. Oh, thanks for presenting that. And Susan was saying in the chat, she loves that it has fresh fruit, and that's what I loved about it too. It's got that fresh fruit through it, and you can even leave chunks of strawberry if you want. Yeah.
So the recipe has a icing is next, and that contains the fresh lemon as well. So.
Oh, beautiful. Okay, we'll come back to you to do that once you get your bowl washed. Okay.
No worries.
All right, thanks. Val, over to you for the hot dog rolls.
Thanks, Sandra. Hi, guys. So tonight I'm making hot dog rolls. They're a little bit different to your traditional hot dog rolls that you get, at the footy games and all that stuff. So we'll get started on them tonight. So essentially what we're going to need is 80 grams of milk. So I've already pre-weighed these. 1 tablespoon of sugar, as well as 2 teaspoons of dried instant yeast. So I'll just pop all that in there. So what we're going to do now is try and activate the yeast. And we're going to heat this up on 37 degrees for a minute and a half on speed 1. So it says the next step is to line a baking tray with baking paper. I've lined one of the rose gold trays with one of the silicone baking sheets that you can get from the mix shop. Just easier rather than using the baking paper. So I've got the sheets of the baking pans ready to go. So that's just warming up for a minute, for another minute to go. Now I did make these earlier. I'll just show you quickly. I've just come out of the oven. Okay. It's still a bit warm. So this is what they look like when they're, sorry guys, when they're cooked. So they're just like little hot dogs, but wrapped up in dough. And they've got the cheese inside. I've got another 30 seconds to go on the warming of the yeast and the milk. So
hey Val, while that's happening, my dough is ready.
Go for it.
So you can see it there. So it's a really sticky dough. So a tip to get this out of the bowl is you turn it upside down and you twist the bottom of the blade, and it should fall off. But remember, I said it's really sticky, so there's going to be quite a bit left behind in the dough. I find in the bowl, I find that if I wet my hands, then I'm able to grab the dough and it won't stick to my hand. So that's a little trick. So there's still a lot left there. So what I do, I just pop the bowl back in the Thermomix. Sorry, I've got stuff all over here. I can't bring it forward. But basically, you just go to speed 10 for like a few seconds, and it flicks everything to the sides. So then you can grab the rest of the dough out. So let me just grab it. Okay, so that's flicked it all off the blades. And now I can go with my spatula and grab the rest of the dough. So there's quite a bit there. Okay, and the silicone spatulas are great because the dough won't stick. And you know, you can touch the blades with your hands, but they're not going to cut you. So I just use my hands to get the rest. And yeah, so as you can see, it is a really sticky dough, but it's quite workable. Okay, so I'm going to let this rise a bit, and then I'll just quickly show how to shape bread rolls. Back to you, Val.
Thanks, Sandra. So the milk and the yeast and the sugar have already warmed up, so they're ready to go now. So the next step is to add 350 grams of plain flour. So I'll just pop that in there. Then we're going to add 100 grams of unsalted butter that's diced. I'll just make sure that this is the butter because I've got some diced cheese as well, so I don't want to get mixed up. But yep, that's the butter there. Okay. Then we need 1 egg. And a teaspoon of salt. Just like that, okay. So what we're going to do now is we're going to make the dough. And that's just going to mix now for 10 seconds on reverse on speed 6. I'll just show you. So that's the dough. It looks a bit crumbly at the moment. So now we're going to knead it for 1 minute and 30 seconds. So Sandra, if you want to go to someone else for about 1 minute and 30.
Yeah, I think that'll be the time that I need to make the coleslaw. So I'm just going back into the recipe, and we're going to do the red cabbage coleslaw. So let me just spotlight the mix screen. There we go. Okay, so now the recipe says to add 250 grams of red cabbage, but I have a mix here of red and your Savoy cabbage, and also 1 carrot. So we just pop that in. I like the mix of the cabbages because of the color that we get, which is really nice. 100 grams of mayonnaise, so our freshly homemade mayonnaise. Honestly, if you haven't made mayonnaise, you've got to try it. It is so easy to make. Just make sure your egg is at room temperature. That's really important. But it's almost no fail. It's so good. All right, so 1.5 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. Okay. And a tablespoon of Dijon mustard. So just what I think a tablespoon is. And so a teaspoon of caster sugar and 1/4 teaspoon of salt and some pepper. So I've got that all there to go at once. And now we're just going to chop it up. But I think the combination of these flavors with the mustard, where's my thing? Here we go. The mustard, the apple cider vinegar, and so on. It's beautiful. So 2 seconds on speed 4.5. And you can go longer. So then just have a look at the chunkiness of it, and you may want it, I don't know, finer. Yeah, which I definitely do. So there we go. So it just depends how big your pieces were. So I'll give it a mix, and I will repeat that step. So to repeat a step, you can just hit the back arrow and then just go speed 4.5. Oh, that was probably a lot. Didn't need double the time, but should still be okay. All right, so there is our coleslaw. So that took 4 seconds to make this beautiful coleslaw. So yeah, like I said, if you just want a side of coleslaw, go into this recipe. Now I'll send you guys all these recipes on email, so then you're able to refer back to them. So there is our coleslaw. So we when we have the brioche buns and the pulled pork done, this is what they look like, little mini sliders with coleslaw. Okay, but I'll show you the rest later once the pulled pork is done. So Val, we can go back to you.
Thanks, Sandra. So the kneading's done. So it still looks a bit crumbly there, if you can see, but that's okay because we're going to work it into a ball now. So we just need to tip it over onto, I'll just see if I can move my screen so you can see my mat there. Okay, so we're going to tip this over. Make sure it all comes out. Yep, so it's all out. So what we're going to need to do now is we're going to roll it into, try and condense it up and put it together. I found making it into a log easier to divide because what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to divide it into 12 equal pieces. Okay, so I'm just going to pop my mix back in because I'm going to use that to weigh my dough. Okay. So it's roughly around, when I did it before, it was about 615 grams for the dough. So we're going to weigh each little bit about 50, it'll be about 50 grams. It's a bit too much there. Yep, okay. So you divide the dough into 12 equal pieces of about 50 grams each. And then what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to leave the dough to rest for about 10 minutes for it to prove a bit more. And then once it's proved, we'll then need to grate the cheese and then roll it up. So Sandra, if you want to go to someone else while these prove for about 10 minutes.
Yeah, okay, we can go back to Ashley to finish off the icing. Ashley?
Okay, so clean and dry the mixing bowl, and then we're adding the zest of 2 lemons, or the peel of 2 lemons. I've literally just peeled it, and we're putting it in there. And we're going to grate it up. So 3 seconds on speed 7. And we're just pushing that down, getting it off the sides. And then we're going to repeat the process. And that's grated all the lemon up for me. Now we're adding 15 ounces of confectioner's sugar or icing sugar. You can actually make your own. This is homemade from raw sugar. Uh, 6 ounces of unsalted and softened butter. So I've cut it up already and it's been sitting out, so it's nice and soft. and 2 ounces of freshly squeezed lemon juice. And we're mixing it on speed 4 for a minute.
Ashley, you're going to pop that into a piping bag?
Yes, I do. I've got a piping bag ready to go.
Okay.
Said to use a star tip.
Okay.
So
you could get.
Sorry.
I was going to say you can get the disposable piping bags from our mix shop as well.
Yes, you can.
And you can, and which it comes with a pack, I think, of 100, which will last you forever. Well, it depends how much baking you do.
Yeah, I do a lot. I go through heaps.
Yeah, and it's so much easier than having to wash a piping bag. I think.
I have a reusable one as well, but they get stained really quickly. Especially if you're using lots of like coloured icings for kids and stuff. So just scraping down the sides, giving it a bit of a stir. And another quick mix. Just 20 seconds on speed 4.
Whilst that's happening, Ashley, I'm just going to, because the pork's done. So I just want to show what we do next. If you can mute yourself, Ashley, just for the time being.
Yep.
Thanks. All right. So there is our pork. Now it smells really good. But what we need to do now is we need to strain it. So we use the simmering basket, and you can have your simmering basket in a bowl. I'm just going to use, just your standard bowl. I'm just going to use a Thermomix bowl because we're going to strain it in here. And when you want to get everything out of the bottom, just again, just twist the blade. All right, now there's still some there, and we're going to shred it. Okay, so now to get this out of here, we use the spatula. So if you're new to Thermomix and you don't know this trick yet, or if you've missed it, you use the spatula to grab the simmering basket. And when you want it to strain, you could do that. And you can just sit there and strain. You can do this for a variety of things. But yeah, that's really handy. It'll just sit there and strain. So I'm happy with that. Now I'm going to pop it back in the Thermomix bowl. Whoops. There we go. And this liquid, you just discard it. You can't do anything with it now. And we're going to pop the lid on. And what we're going to do is we're going to add 200 grams of barbecue sauce. So 200 grams of barbecue sauce. Oh, and I just realized my scales went on 0. So I'm going to have to wing it. I think what was left in here would probably be 200 grams. Yeah, there we go. So it is a lot of barbecue sauce, but it is a Cheats pulled pork. And then we are going to shred it for 6 seconds on speed 4, and let's put the blaze in reverse. And there we are. So we have, sorry, show you what the pulled pork looks like. So there is a pulled pork, our Cheats pulled pork with pork tenderloin done in 30 minutes for some burgers. Okay. So there we are. How good is that? It smells absolutely delicious. We'll come back to it once I have the buns ready. Okay, back over to you, Ashley. Ashley, you there?
Yeah,
Hello?
sorry. Yeah, I forgot to unmute.
Okay.
So the last step is just to add the butterfly whisk. And then we are going to whisk all this up. So speed 4 again for another minute. And they're not iced yet, but these are the cupcakes. Yeah,
Okay, Val. Oh, sorry. sorry, Ashley.
You're right.
I was going to say, Val, we can go back over to you, and your dough should be ready now.
Yep, awesome. Okay, so what we're going to do now, while it's still proving a little bit, we're going to chop the, we're going to actually grate the cheese. So this is the cheese that we're going to actually be putting in the dough. So we need 120 grams of cheddar cheese cut into pieces, 3 centimeters. Just pop that in there. The bowl doesn't need to be washed because it's all going to be incorporated in the dough anyway. So we'll just go next. And we're going to grate that in speed 7 for 5 seconds. Okay, so that's done. I'll just show you. You guys can see that's our grated cheese there. So there's no need to buy grated cheese from the shop. You can just buy an actual block of cheese and then just grate your own cheese and pop it in the freezer. You don't have to worry about anti-caking agents or anything like that. You've got fresh cheese grated in your Thermomix. So I'm just going to transfer this into a bowl so it's easier then to put in my hot dogs. Should be enough for now. So what we're going to do, I'm just going to put this down again. So now we're going to start rolling it out. So we're going to get one of the little doughs and we're just going to flatten it out and we're going to need to roll it out into a rectangle roughly about 12 centimeters long and about 6 centimeters wide, just like that, just into a thin pastry. So what we're going to need is, it says to add sorry, go back. It does say to add the hot dog sausage across the corner of one of the rectangles. I think I tried it earlier and I found that adding the cheese first and then rolling it up works a lot better. So I'll just add a bit of the cheese just on the bottom there like that. And then the hot dog rolls are just your footy franks that you can get from Coles or Woolies. So we just get the actual hot dog. We just place it on top like that. And then we just squeeze the dough tightly around the hot dog and we just roll it up like that. And there's your little hot dog roll. So then once they're all rolled up, what we need to do then is just brush a little bit of water on top. And the recipe does say to put a bit of poppy seeds on top, but I don't have any poppy seeds and I just sprinkled some sesame seeds, so it just does the trick. But yeah, that's it there. I'll do it one more time just to show you. So we just squeeze out the dough like that, flatten it out, roll it out about 12 centimeters by 6 centimeters. Put a bit of the cheese on there, just like that. Get the sausage, just place it on top and then just roll it across like that. And like that, it's all done. And then what you need to do is, as I said, you brush it with water, sprinkle with the sesame seeds or poppy seeds, pop it in the oven, in a cold oven, 180 degrees, cold oven for about 12 to 15 minutes until it goes golden brown. And they turn out like that. And then you just have it with your favorite sauce.
And that's something really easy that you can get the kids involved as well in rolling out that dough, putting the sausage in and, you know, with the cheese and so on. And you can brush it with egg as well. Egg will give it a really nice colour.
Colour too, yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Did your kids like them?
They're coming, they're grabbing the ones that I made earlier.
Everybody's, well, Mum's presented, we can eat. Awesome, love it. Okay, well, we're going to move over to Elia, who's going to talk to us about the vegetarian sausage rolls. Oh, is it Elia? Hang on. No, it's Sue. Sue, we're going to Sue Roberts for the zucchini ham and corn bites. Well, it doesn't really matter. Elia, if you're ready, you can go.
Hi, yes, I'm ready. So vegetarian sausage rolls, seriously, if you haven't tried these, when you do, they taste exactly like normal sausage rolls. You would not believe that they're actually vegetarian and have no meat. So definitely try it and fool everyone. I fooled my husband many times. Yeah, and he'll have some tomorrow for lunch after I make these. So the recipe actually asks for breadcrumbs, 50 grams of breadcrumbs, but I don't have any. So what I'm going to do is I've just got the two ends of my loaf and like the front and back or whatever, and I'm going to save the recipe because I started it as in I clicked the recipe and preheated my oven to 200 degrees, and so I can click it and save it. Like there'll be a little green book at the top, and I'm going to add my bread and I'm going to just blitz it, just speed 10 for a couple of seconds, and I'll turn it into breadcrumbs. Done 4 seconds, and that should be plenty. So you have a look. Make your own breadcrumbs, which is perfect. So I'm just going to leave them in there, even though like the step now is to add the brown onion, chop it, all that stuff. Like it doesn't matter because they're all just going to be all mixed in together. So now I'm going to add the onion. I'm just going to chop for 3 seconds. And then I'll show you what it looks like. So it's just all mixed in now with my breadcrumbs. It's chopped up the onions nicely. And now I'm going to add a tablespoon of dried oregano, 100 grams of walnuts. Now I have made these without walnuts and used seeds so that my kids could take it to school in their lunchbox. So you could do that too. Rolled oats, 90 grams of rolled oats, and then that's going to mix for 3 seconds again, so super quick. I'm going to scrape it down, add some eggs, 3 eggs, and then 150 grams of feta cheese. Okay, so I'll show you again, that's just mixed it up with the oats, 3 eggs, the feta cheese, and a tablespoon of soy sauce. And that's it. We're going to mix it up. Oh, and the breadcrumbs, which are already in there. They were in there from the start. And just another 20 seconds. I'm just using Campus Puff Pastry. I love this little container. I think I got it at W, but I think I've seen them at Coles as well. And they're great for the freezer. Sometimes if I make a pizza as well, I'll put them here and freeze it. So it's awesome. So I've just cut a sheet in half of puff pastry. I'm using my mat because it can go in the oven like baking paper. And I'll show you all that mixture. You see that? So that's just all mixed up. And now all you do is you've got your puff pastry cut. I'll put this down here so you can see. We'll add a bit to the middle. It says like 1/6 of the mixture. So depending on how much you have, I hope you can see that. And then you just roll. Kind of just roll them, and then that seam side, I'll just plunk it down. Okay. I'm going to, with a little brush with milk, do the top. And then sprinkle with sesame seeds. And again, you don't have to, you can leave them out. But my family will like it. And that's it. So how cool is that? So I'm going to put that one in the oven. Obviously, I'll finish the rest. 20 minutes in the oven, and that's how quick it is. And they're so delicious, perfect for a picnic, for lunch, you know, while we're homeschooling, and it's so quick. And then, yeah, you just keep going. And then obviously you can cut them into 4s once they're done. So super quick, and I'll keep going, and then I'll take a photo and send it to Sandra to send with the email.
Yeah, we'll be sending you guys photos of everything that we've made tonight, okay? So we're going to move over to Paula, and then we'll go to Ashley again to finish off the cupcakes.
Oh, hi everyone. Happy Friday. Nice of you to join us today. I don't know if everyone's in lockdown today, but if you are, we're all in the same boat. So today I am doing the barbecue chicken winglets. So I do know that there are some people today that don't have a Thermomix, so I'm just going to go into a little bit more detail. So on your cookie dough, I've already added the barbecue chicken winglets onto my week for today. So I'm just going to select it and I'm going to just start cooking. So to begin with, I need to preheat the oven to 190 degrees. And also I've just gotten, I'll just show you, I have a baking tray lined with some foil, and I have the chicken wings there ready to go. So that's the first steps you need to do, and then just put it aside. And so as it is guided cooking, this tells you that. So you just click next onto the next screen. So now it's just asking me to add 1 brown onion cut into halves. So I've done that. 1 brown onion cut into halves. I'm going to add that. 1 garlic clove. Now, again, you can add whatever you like. If you want to add 1 garlic clove, it's up to you. I like garlic. I like to keep the vampires away. I'm going to add 2. Okay, and then it just tells you to insert the measuring cup, and it's just going to chop that on 3 seconds on speed 7, and that's all automatic. It tells you that. Okay, 3 seconds, it's chopped all of that, and I'll show you what it did in 3 seconds to that onion and that garlic. Check that out, 3 seconds. How long will it take you to chop that? An onion and 2 garlics in that particular.
Sorry, Paula, I've got my laptop facing the screen following the recipe you're following, if anyone wants to have a look.
Fantastic. And then when you click on next, it just tells you to just scrape the sides, and it tells you to scrape the sides just so that you can get down all the onion and the garlic down to the blades. Now, when you click on next, it tells you 250 grams of tomato sauce. You can do gluten-free, and there are tips in cookie dough. So at the beginning of cookie dough, you can scroll down and see the tips, and it shows you how you can do gluten-free recipes as well. So I don't have like the ketchup. I have tomato passata, because I think tomato sauce has got a little bit too much sugar, so that's why I've just used the tomato passata for that. So I've already pre-measured this, but as you can see, the Thermomix has got inbuilt scales, and it doesn't matter if you go a little bit over or under, it's up to you really. 50 grams of apple cider vinegar, and then 50 grams of honey. So as I put it in, the scales show you where I'm up to. And this is what's great about the Thermomix, is you don't need to have scales. It's all inbuilt in the Thermomix. 100 grams of brown sugar. So I've already pre-measured all of this just for tonight's class to make it a little bit quicker. And 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. Now, if anyone has any allergies, there is a gluten-free recipe on Cookie Dough if you would like to do that. So I've already pre-measured that. And then 60 grams of water. And half a teaspoon of paprika. Again, if you like paprika, if it's something you like, if you like the taste, then you can add more. You can add more, you can add less. It depends really on your preferences. Okay. And next, and now it's, we need to turn the speed selector to speed 2. It's just going to mix for 5 seconds. It won't take too long. 5 seconds, done. And now it's just telling us to scrape down the sides again. And because it wasn't such a high speed, there isn't really that much to scrape down. Now, it's telling us to place the simmering basket on top, which is this. And the reason why it tells us to place the simmering basket on top, it's all got to do with the pressure with the steam coming out. So that's what you do. You just place it on top, click on next, and it just, in 20 minutes, it's going to just cook all those ingredients together. Now, I've already done a batch, and after the 20 minutes, there is a moment where we need to puree, and I can show you that. But what I want to show you is after the 20 minutes of cooking and after it has been pureed, you need to pour the sauce just on top of the chicken, okay, which I've already done here. That's just the chicken. And then you just place it in the oven for about 45 minutes. I've already done that. And once it's done, it basically looks like that. So it's a very quick recipe. So because it is an indoor picnic, I do have my thermo server and I can just serve it in my thermo server. So I did this probably about an hour ago and it is very warm. But if you were to take this, let's say for an outdoor picnic, on the mix shop, you could actually either have the marinade and have the chicken marinated and have it raw and take it to the park and actually barbecue it while you're there. If you didn't want to do that, you can cook it in the oven and you can put it in the thermo server. And on the mix shop, you can buy these silicone covers. So once it's cooked, you can put it in the thermo server and then you can use this cover and this is all you do, right? It goes on top of the thermo server. It holds everything together. And by the time you get to the park, it's still warm. So it's a really good thing. And I know that this month we do have a promotion where if you buy a TM6, you get a thermo server for free and the anniversary cookbook. So I do really think that it's a great idea to have a thermo server if you do have a TM6, because it does keep all your ingredients either hot or cold for hours. And so we can come back in 20 minutes and I can show you it and I can puree it down. But really, it's such a quick and easy recipe to have.
That's perfect, Paula. And that looks really delicious. I can't wait to try that one. And I like the tip about using passata instead of the tomato sauce, because I agree. These sauces have so much sugar. They should actually be in the dessert aisle in the at the shops because of the amount of sugar they have. Yeah. Or you can make your own as well and reduce the amount of sugar too. So that's another option. Yeah, awesome. Thank you. Appreciate that. Don't forget to take a photo. We'll pop over to Sue now for the zucchini, ham and corn bites. Sue, you ready?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
Hi, everyone. I'm making zucchini, ham and corn bites. So I've got the recipe up on screen. It's from the Hip Hip Hooray cookbook. I've got the oven going. I've sprayed my tray. So we're putting in zucchini, 140 grams of zucchini, 50 grams of corn. I've just used canned corn and 100 grams of shaved ham. It goes on and it's going to chop for 3 seconds on the speed top. So we just scrape the bowl down. So that's our corn, ham and cheese, ham and zucchini chopped up. You could add cheese to it if you want. Next, we've got 2 teaspoons of veggie stock. Our liquid gold saves us hundreds of dollars compared to shop bought, 30 grams of arrowroot flour. I'm using tapioca that we use for the Brazilian cheese puffs. Half a teaspoon of bicarb, which was with the tapioca. Coconut flour, so this is coconut flour. You just buy it in the flour section of your supermarket. That goes in. And then 4 eggs. I've got 4 eggs. It's going to mix up again. For 20 seconds on reverse speed cook. Okay, that's our mix done. There's our mixture all mixed up. So now that just goes into
Is Sue frozen or is it just me? She's frozen. Oh
Yeah,
no.
Sue's frozen.
Okay. Oh, I think she's back.
So you just need to fill them up and then into the oven. Now I cooked some earlier and here they are here. So you can make them that's a bit bigger size or the little bite-sized ones. And you get 48 bite size. Today I've got 24 of the bite size and 6 of the slightly larger ones. And great little snack and virtually hidden veggies so the kids won't know.
I was going to ask you that, Sue. Do you think the kids will pick up that there's hidden zucchini?
There's little bits of green, but not. I'll break one open and show you.
I guess if you peel the zucchini, you won't see the green, so that could trick them.
Yeah.
Because I'm always looking for ways to trick my kids, especially the younger one. I love that. That's another recipe I'm going to try. Okay, thanks a lot, Sue. Thanks for presenting that one. And yeah, don't forget the photo as well. Now, before I forget, we are going to go back to Ashley, but before I forget, I do want to show you what's on offer this month. So Paula mentioned this cookbook. So if you decide to purchase this month, you get this gorgeous cookbook, which is our anniversary cookbook, and it's got amazing recipes in here. So if you're a cookbook person, you'd love this. And you also get the thermo server for free. So you get this as a bundle with the Thermomix this month. And this would be worth like $180 all up. So if you love cookbooks and you want a thermo server with your Thermomix, this month is the month to buy. Next month, we have a completely different offer where you actually don't get freebies like this. So yeah, jump at it if you want some freebies with your Thermomix. So before we hop over to Ashley, since I am on camera, I'm just going to show you the dough. So this dough for the brioche buns is quite spongy. So what you want them all to be the same size because that just then ensures that they cook evenly in the oven. So whilst we've been talking, I've been making some brioche buns some burgers for tomorrow. But see how they're all the same size and they look like they've come from the shop. So to get them all the same size, I weigh the dough and then I divide that figure into 12 and then I weigh each bun in the Thermomix so they all end up being the same size. So when you do that, then you just fold the bottom over the top, you turn it around, you cup your hand and you do this. And you get a beautiful shaped roll and you put it onto a tray. Now you want them about a finger apart, each one on all sides, and then they'll be ready to go in the oven once they've risen again. So you do, after you shape them, you do need to let them rise again. And then I pop them into a cold oven and they rise again. So you end up with this beautiful soft really soft brioche bun. Honestly, it's like it's come from the shop. So you want them about you know, spaced out that way, and then you'd have another 2 here, all spaced out the same, and they grow nicely when they're in the oven. They rise nicely when they're in the oven. And yeah, you save a lot of money by making your own. Okay, so we'll move over to Ashley to finish off the cupcakes. Then we're finished.
Awesome. So the other ones that just came out of the oven, so that's them there. So I got about 20 out of that, but it would depend on how big your cupcakes are. If you use muffin tray, you'd probably get maybe 18. If you use slightly smaller ones, you'd get 24 easily. So once I'd whipped the icing for a minute with the butterfly, I removed the butterfly and I've put it all into a piping bag. I've used quite a giant tip, and then I've just piped it onto these. And I've decorated it with a little bit of strawberry of what I've had left. And then, yeah, when you bite into it, you're getting a nice zingy lemonade sort of hit from the icing, and you're getting the beautiful sweetness from the strawberry in the bottom. I don't think there'll be many of these left tonight, honestly.
I can't believe how amazing they look. You did a great job with the piping, much better than what I would.
I'm actually a hobby baker. I'm just out of practice. I haven't been in the business for a little bit, but
that's why. That explains it. That's why they look so good. Awesome. Well, thank you for presenting those. And I think that was such a good one to present, because strawberries are really cheap at the moment. You can get punnets for $1, and that's a great way to use up some strawberries.
Yeah,
awesome,
if you're gonna use frozen, somebody's asked, I would definitely probably let them thaw, because you'll probably get a little bit too much liquid in your batter.
Yeah.
Let them thaw in a strainer or something, and then you could probably use them, definitely. Yeah. But strawberries are like $1.50 a punnet in Woolies at the moment, if you wanted to do that. So, and they're really nice strawberries.
Yeah, you'd probably prefer to go fresh since they're so cheap at the moment, for sure.
Yeah.
And
my lemons were fresh too. The neighbour dropped them off on my doorstep the other day, so it's a good excuse to use them up.
Winning.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'm going to say a huge thank you to my team, the Blade Runners, for their awesome presentation tonight. And they do a great job as usual. I think all of you would agree. So I'll send out an email to all of you with tonight's recipes and photos and links to our future classes. So next Friday, join us for a Varoma cooking class. So if you feel that you're not using your Varoma as much as probably you would like, join us next Friday night, because we're going to be showing you our favorite Varoma recipes. I remember when I first got a Thermomix, I think I only used the Varoma like 3 months later. It took me that long to get comfortable in using it. But there are just so many amazing dishes, and it really ensures that you get the most out of your Thermomix when you're cooking your Thermomix. So especially for those that want to cook large quantities, using the Varoma is perfect. So, can I just show? This was 600 grams of pulled pork. So it's made heaps. I said you could double the recipes and you could even put more. Look at the amount of pulled pork that you can get in one hit with a Thermomix. So it really debunks that myth that you can't cook for large families with a Thermomix when you see dishes like this, right? So yeah, so again, thanks for joining, everyone, and we hope to see you next week. Oh, forgot to mention, on Sunday 7 p.m. I'm running a cookie-do presentation or a cookie-do workshop. So if you want to know more about guided cooking, want to know more about meal planning, join me on Sunday at 7 o'clock and I'll send you the links for that. It will only take half an hour, but you may pick up some tips with your for your recipe searching on Cookie-Do. All right, you're welcome, everybody. Thank you all for coming. And it was a pleasure, as usual, to spend Friday night with you all.
Thanks, everyone.
Do you want one? You can have that one. Oh, you just want bread? You can have bread. Oh, cakes in the Verona. Yeah, steaming cakes in the Verona is great. We might do that for our Verona class. We'll do a hey, which one lotto? We're doing we'll definitely do a dessert in the Verona because there's lots of desserts you can make in the Verona. I really want to make these strawberry cupcakes because I've got a 9-year-old who won't eat strawberries, but if I put them in cupcakes and tell her I put pink food coloring, she'd eat them.
Yeah, you can't see them either because it blitzes them up nicely.
I know, that's what I'm thinking. I'll just say I'll put food coloring. It's like when I used to make spinach scrolls, I put spinach in the dough. I used to tell her that I put green food coloring in the dough and she'd smash it. She'd love it. I don't need to say that now because she'll eat it. But back then I used to call them Shrek rolls.
We call them Hulk. It's Hulk.
Good one.
But look, 3-year-olds after them already.
Yum. I used to trick you all the time. Or I'd put like beetroot in the dough, so you end up with pink dough. And I'd tell her I just put pink coloring, and we call it princess dough. And she'd be like, "Oh, princess dough!" It'd be full of beetroot.
Whatever works, right? I love that recipe. It's the pasta recipe, and the base has got like zucchini, and it's got like capsicum, and all these vegetables. And it's got the chorizo in it as well, and the kids don't even know.
Salami and tomato, yeah.
Yeah,
Creamy
and they love it, and
Oh.
it's got all those vegetables, and they don't even know. It's the best.
Do you know I still haven't made that recipe?
It's really good.
So it's got zucchini in the sauce.
Yeah, it does. It's got zucchini.
Ah, well, I've got zucchini. I might make it for lunch tomorrow. That's a good idea.
I
And it's got
puree-
capsicum. You got all that.
I
What is
puree
it,
it
Sue?
before I put the pasta in.
Oh, puree. Yeah. So they can't see any
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah,
Sandra, you're still recording.
Oh, am I? Oh, thank you.
I'm not talking about charcoal. No worries.